Wouldn't it be nice to hear that every night? Take some of this. What better way to introduce onto the programme tonight Debbie Curtis from the Debbie Curtis Radio Big Band. Hello, Debbie.
Hello, good evening.
How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you very much for playing in Booty.
It's gorgeous, it really is. And how wonderful must it be to stand in front of all those musicians and be in control?
It's fantastic. It's really, really good. Yeah, I could do it all the time, 24/7.
I know, I'm sure you can. And you're such a honey as well. I mean, you've been a musician most of your life, actually, haven't you?
Yes, yeah, continually, really. I think it's become a way of life now. Yeah, I grew up with my dad with writing sheet music, arranging for BBC, all sorts of things. Actually, that track we just played in Booty was arranged for the BBC in 1974 originally.
Wow.
Yeah.
A girl of the 70s. Now, there's a great opportunity to see your wonderful band because you're fresher in the London Palladium. What was that like?
That was lovely. That's the second time we've been there. It's just got a really good ambience and it's obviously designed for that kind of music. So the sound is fantastic in there. It was really nice this time as well. We had Corey Conradi and Ian Ewing on it, which are vocalists who the first time I introduced them was on that stage. And there's something about that stage of all the people who have been there. It just feels fantastic to play there.
Absolutely. Now, you have been putting the big band back in Britain, haven't you?
Yes, hopefully.
You've really stepped things up because I've had actually the experience of seeing you in London and it was absolutely really stunning because it's just not the band, you've got dancers and all sorts. Tell us a little bit about the show.
Well, I'm trying to get it to all sorts of age groups, really, without losing the original age group, you know, the people who originally were around for that kind of music. And so we've got sort of a few more colours in there as far as reenactors, which is a person who reenacts a role or an event, you know, of the era. So they're sort of got the history side as well as dancers who do sort of the things that they would have done. Lindy Hop, Jitterbug, Stroll, which was done by the women in the war when the men went out. Now everybody does it. In fact, I try and get men to do it, actually. I think it's the other way around, really.
Well, it all gives for great entertainment as well. And there's a huge, not sort of revival, but there's a huge interest now in a lot of the 78s that are around because I have the Shellac Collective that come in and we talk about the music of the day and the different bands that are around, some rock and roll and bits and pieces. And there's a great revival in learning to dance that way because of, we've had, all the dancing stuff that's been on TV and everything. Yeah. Have you seen, people sort of getting there that really want to dance?
Yes, yeah. Basically, it's actually cheaper to have a ballroom built than it is to have Tesco's built. So I was kind of hoping that if anybody wanted to sort of side with us here and get the big backing band, you need to actually keep phoning in radio stations asking to play this kind of music and keep coming to concerts so we can turn it round.
Absolutely, as well. And let's have a few ballrooms. Sort of in the 70s when the ballrooms were there was the Mecca thing, wasn't there, where they had a big band, but you were starting to play the pop and bits and pieces like that. Yeah. Ballrooms were great. And then they sort of became nightclubs and downsized a bit. But I'm trying to think how many actual sort of good ballrooms there are around now.
There are not very many at all. And actually, sadly, the Historia was obviously destroyed not very long ago. Tried to do quite a lot to save that place, but we've now got the Astoria that's also looking at it being demolished. But in the States, they've opened quite a few more new ones, which is the Hit Ball Lounge and jazz workshops where they're films showcasing bands that are swing bands. And Slim Style is the first independent swing record label that's come out in the States as well. So hopefully, I'm hoping we're a little bit behind there.
Well, yeah, but that's encouraging though, isn't it?
Yeah, and Brian Stetzer, the Year of Jump and Jive and Well, was awarded a Grammy. So hopefully it's moving this kind of music out into the forefront. It's quite difficult because it's a lot of young people wouldn't say it's represented so well on recorded music these days when you put it next to, you put 78 next to a CD. Which is why, we need to get this music out there.
A woman full of passion. Now, you sort of started on keyboards, didn't you? But you like playing guitar better. Why is that?
I can carry it round, really. Sort of what usually happens as a pianist, you like really good pianos and then you end up liking Steinways, which unfortunately a lot of theatres these days don't have anymore. I mean, most of them actually have electric keyboards, just for portable sake. So a guitar is more portable, and some of the jazz sort of inversions on a guitar are quite nice, to write with, really. I've bought myself a platinum Koi music nib pen.
Oh, have you now? Oh, so what do we buy for Christmas then, Debbie?
Now for Christmas I'd like a vibraphone.
All right.
I'd like to go like the Lionel Hampton thing, actually, because I don't know many bands using a vibraphone at the moment, and I use a tuba and a string bass, and I would really like to play the vibraphone.
All right, okay. Well, let's hear a bit more music. This, because you've got several albums out, haven't you? And EPs and things, which are, great fun. And they're all beautifully presented as well in a sort of true retro style. The Debbie Curtis Radio Big Band. Let's hear. This is a studio track, but it's Tuxedo Junction. It's great.
Thank you very much.
Tuxedo Junction. Debbie Curtis at Radio Big Band, and Debbie is in a studio so that she can talk to us sort of normally. Whatever normal is, Debbie. Now then, there's a 1940s weekend coming up at Ramsey this weekend in Cambridgeshire at RAF Upward, which I wasn't aware of actually, but they seem like they're having a bit of a good day that day. So what's happening there?
Yes, they've got stuff on the Saturday and the Sunday, and really they're celebrating all things 40s. And any money from the weekend is obviously given for charity, all profits. They began in 2003, so they've been running for 6 years. And the highlight is, of course, the hanger dance with the Debbie Curtis Radio Big Band.
Ta-da!
But there's vehicles, parades, stalls, exhibitions, military reenactors, all sorts there. And what is really nice with it is any age group, again, can go.
Sure.
So it's a really good fun. And it's got a brilliant atmosphere, you usually get 7,000 to 10,000 people through. It's an interesting place. They've got 2 watchtowers, 3 runways, 4 C-type hangars, and just a really good weekend.
Sounds brilliant. Then I'm going to ask you about young people, because I notice, and when Greg from the Shellac Collective comes in and we play the music and that, he brought in a young lady who was 20 years of age who was playing self-taught boogie-woogie piano, and was sort of a cross between Bessie Smith and a goddess. She was fantastic, Miss Cookie Cutter, and it's interesting to see that youngsters kind of pick up on it. And she was the whole deal as well. Fantastic hair, and she really, really was, just amazing. It's just fantastic. I mean, did you ever dream, Debbie, that one day that you'd be sort of the leader of the Debbie Curtis Radio Big Band?
No, not at all. I actually didn't think I would do this at all. I originally started studying the history of art, and I did a degree in fine art. Well, which was a bit like splitting hairs with a pickaxe, so it really wasn't for me. But obviously, I all the time I was still doing gigs with my dad as well. I think in the end I just ended up brainwashed. There was an awful lot of tracks written in the past, things like On the Verge of Having a Nervous Breakdown. I think I'm actually living it.
What about youngsters, though? Are you getting more young people, sort of 20 to 30-year-olds in your audience?
Yes. When we did the Palladium, I walked out sort of into the audience on the front, but because you can't jump into the audience anymore due to health and safety, and as I sort of bent down with the microphone, it was really strange. The first person I bent down to, it was obviously a boy of about 9 or 10. And there was about 6 in the front row like that, a really wide audience. And we've had some letters from some of them saying, thank you, for letting us come to the show, blah, blah, which was really nice. And somebody actually sent me a £5.
How lovely.
More, please.
How lovely. How many are actually in the big band?
16. Yeah.
Comprising of?
Basically 5 saxes, which is baritone, 2 tenors and 2 altos. Piano, bass and drums, the rhythm section, 4 trombones, and also the bass trombone doubles up as a tuba, and 4 trumpets.
So that's really quite something then, isn't it?
It's a lovely band, and it's great. We, the more you do, the better sound you can get.
Sure.
It's really good.
And it's great at the moment because Ramsey have got their 40th weekend. Then, of course, the following weekend it's the at Twinwood in the Eastern Counties over at Clapham. They've got the Glenn Miller weekend. Is that something that you like to go to?
Yes, John Miller's there, and he's on our show at the RAF at Ramsey, RAF Upwood.
Oh, is he? Right.
Yes, he is, yeah. And he's lovely, really lovely guy. I grew up with him, and he used to sing with my dad's band.
Sure.
It's really nice. And they do the Miller Festival there. They have other bands as well, and they've got the control tower where Glenn Miller last left off, And actually the museum up there is really worth taking a visit because they sell little brown drugs, which is just like so nice, yeah.
I know.
It's really sweet, and they got radar and everything up there when it came into operational use. It's quite interesting.
Yeah, I think one of the nicest things in the Glenn Miller story film is when she says, "Well, I've saved all the change out of your, when you take trousers off, I've taken the change out of your pockets and kept it all, and this is to help you with the band."
Yes,
that's amazing.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, I know. It's a really memorable film. That one. It was James Stewart, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it was absolutely.
As musicians,
fantastic.
we were all considered social outcasts,
No, not at all.
Music that assaulted your ears.
Not at all. Is there anywhere that you haven't played yet with the Radio Big Band that you'd like to?
Carnegie Hall, the Albert Hall.
Right.
And
okay.
what I'd really like to do is play on the back of a truck, like Miller did. Even though I would like to do, I tend to play more of what you'd call a Basie Afro-American kind of sounding band, but on the back of a truck, how it originally was, done. And I have been looking at that. Again, not an awful lot of volunteers on the health and safety side again. But, and also I'd like to look at Cromer Pavilion, actually.
Yeah, that's a lovely place.
That's supposed to be really nice, so I would like to have a look at going there.
Yeah, the Pasadenas are there, and on Sunday evening, which is great. So the big bands are out there because there aren't that many of you in England, are there?
Not very many at all. I don't know whether we keep knocking down the big venues as well. That doesn't help. I'm going to do some kind of thing outside Tesco soon. Just doing give up the shop for a day and have a dance. But there isn't that many. I mean, you've got sort of probably about 5 or 6 really, if that, what you'd call really good quality bands. Who play. Who've done that music from Henderson right the way through, and have the kind of arrangements and the musicianship that can do it justice, really.
Sure.
So.
When I spoke to you last time, I seem to remember that you're a bit of an animal nut like me.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, we had some in London Zoo, by the way, down in the audience at the Palladium.
Did you?
Yes, really. I thought if I say that on the show, everyone's going to think I'm in them. But yeah, we did.
How did you work that out? How did you know they were from London Zoo?
They wrote and said they were coming.
Really?
Yes, that was really nice, actually. But yeah, I've got 8 cats, 3 dogs, 2 horses, 4 chickens, and 2 tortoises.
Have you?
Yeah. Yeah, they're
tortoises are quite rare these days, aren't they?
Yes, you're supposed to actually leave them in your will.
Are you?
Yes, yeah, they're quite a rare animal to have now. And the ones I've got are Russian, Turkish ones. And apparently you can put them in the fridge if you want to hibernate them. Crunchy pies.
No.
No, I know. I'm not going to hibernate these at all. These are baby tortoises, these 2.
Oh, gosh.
Which is quite... Yeah, they're lovely, actually. Really, really sweet.
I'm sure they are trying to... You wouldn't want to put them in there with your lettuce, would you?
No,
really?
no, not if somebody had a couple of drinks either.
No, gosh, no, they might end up in a sandwich. Oh, no, it doesn't bear thinking about. Oh, Debbie, it's great. If people want to find out more about you, because you seem very much in touch with your audience, people can join your website. You've got a forum on there, I think.
Yes, yeah, we've got there's all sorts of things on there, and if people join, we give them lots of freebies, hint, hint.
Oh, right,
okay. It's www.debbiecurtis.co.uk.
And you can find all the stuff there. You've also got on MySpace as well, and there's bits of you on YouTube.
Yeah.
So you are spreading the word. You are, managing to get it out there.
Yes, we've got about 140,000 people on YouTube and things, so it is getting there. And we are getting to a lot of people, a lot of young people, which is good, as well as, all sorts of age groups. But it is nice to know that younger people are liking this music, So I think once people see it live, you've sold it to them. It's just getting people out of the armchair and, to the actual shows.
Yeah, I would agree with that, absolutely. Well, the hanger dance sounds like it's, going to be... Going to be a great time, and it's not expensive either. I don't think, is it?
No,
I was just trying to find the website there.
I think it's something like £6 or something. I might be wrong there. Yeah. And the hanger dance is from 7:30 till 12.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you can find more about that about Ramsey 1940s weekend, and there's also camping overnight, which is good. Trade stores and all that kind of stuff. So I should imagine there'll be a few people down there with the Land Rovers and all the rest of it. I mean, I think it's great when people dress up and you have an interest like that, because it just makes weekends, a little
That's
bit more
one
exciting.
of the nice things about it as well, is people do dress up to go out. I've actually got a 1938 Austin 12 police car.
Have you?
Yeah.
Hang on, that deserves one of those. Wow, does it take a lot of maintenance?
It's not too bad. If you're driving it a lot of the time, it's really good, and the insurance is only £49.35 a year, and that's fully comp.
Yeah, that's classic car insurance for you, really, isn't it?
Lovely.
And tax exempt as well.
Yep. Are you? Oh, sorry, are you tax exempt or am I? No, yes, it is, yes.
Yeah, the car is.
Yes, it is, sorry.
Yeah, it'd be good actually. Maybe when I don't think humans don't become tax exempt, do we, until we're sort of over 65 or something like
a bit
that?
like artists, isn't it? It's later on always.
Yeah, indeed. All right, well, you have a fantastic gig at the weekend, and it's great that you're coming to Cambridgeshire.
Thank you very much. Are you coming down?
I suppose I might be able to. I'll have to see how my social diary is fixed.
Yes.
I want to play a bit of Hawaiian Marchant, because this is recorded live, and it really is superb. I mean, recording a big band, it's a specialist art, I believe.
Yeah, it is, because the instruments are actually naturally sound is, acoustic really, other than the vocals. So once you record it, you've got to be careful that it doesn't change and sort of turn poppy, really.
Yeah.
But and the tube is one of the great ones to record. It's fantastic, actually.
It just. Well, you sound like you have a lot of fun. You are such a lovely lady. Have a brilliant gig.
Thank you very much.
And thank you, Debbie Curtis.